What is going on right now? Like, why have we recently had what can only be described as a crisis in American democracy? Why is there so much shouting and so little listening? Why is there so much anger and misunderstanding?
One of the things about a lot of the new technology, social media, digital technology, is that it allows for instantaneous reactions. Real deliberation, real discourse involves reflection, it involves listening.
The framers of the Constitution correctly believe that unless citizens take the time to educate themselves about constitutional principles and about the habits of civil dialogue, the republic would collapse.
Our students have come of age in a moment when there are a lot of questions about truth versus myth versus lies.
Society has become increasingly segmented. People live in their own bubbles.
Trust has been declining in the United States for the last 60 years. And it's both trust in government that's declined, which is challenging enough in and of itself. But people's belief that Americans trust each other is also declining.
Citizenship, or the skills of citizenship, are made and not born, right? So if we don't come out of the womb knowing how to do all the hard work of working with people across difference, of working with each other to solve problems.
Democracy is supposed to include all voices in the conversation of deciding what is just, what is not, what is good, what is bad for society at large.
A lot of the times people think civic engagement is just about voting or just about running for office, but it's so much more. There's so much that you can do to be actively engaged in your community.
So the SNF Padilla program is a 21st century version of that ancient notion of educating the whole person that's designed really to teach our students the skills, the knowledge, the experiences of public discussion around contentious issues and with people who may be different than you are.
This takes practice, and that's okay. This is just as worthy of investing in as learning how to code.
Usually people think of complex problems in terms of climate change or like global war, but we tend to think of it in terms of dialogue and the ability to address complex issues.
When the Stavros Niarchos Foundation developed the relationship with Johns Hopkins University, there was a really clear vision of wanting to realize the promise of the ancient agora in modern times.
To me, the agora is a symbol of what was at the heart of democracy since its very beginnings in ancient Athens, which is deliberation. It is about people with different ideas, with different preferences, meeting in the public square.
SNF Agora is the place where we take the remarkable research we do in departments and then learn how to make it speak to the world.
The Academy for American Democracy is a program that focuses on civics and history education for sixth graders specifically, where we trace the history of democracy in ancient Athens to democracy here in the United States, talking about how a democracy works and how can we, as people who live in a democracy, make change.
The Generation Citizen brings action civics into classrooms across the country to help young people practice and learn democracy.
With the help of the SNF Foundation, the Constitution Center has launched a partnership with the Penn Padilla program about how to teach the Constitution to undergrads and then have the undergrads go into Philadelphia high schools and help those high school students study the Constitution.
It's been a true delight, not only for me to interact with students from all different disciplines, but also for the students to interact with each other.
I applied to an American university because I like the interdisciplinary, and the same goes for the Padilla program. We have wellness, we have citizenship, we have dialogue, and all of these come together.
And it's experiential. We have students who run forums to talk with other students about issues. We bring in outside speakers that might have views different than our own students have.
It's crucially important to remind people about the relevance of the Constitution to their own lives. We have this golden opportunity to bring these amazing online resources to the students who need it most.
My students are always challenged by me to take their work into the public sphere. And for many of them, this is new.
As opposed to just thinking about problems theoretically, we think about problems in its actuality and how to address it in our own individual lives.
You have to have a really good idea and an idea that's at the right time. And this turns out to be a really good idea at exactly the right time.
One of my greatest hopes is that the SNF Agora Institute becomes a place where we help make the possible more plausible.
You have to show people the joy. You have to show people the pleasure of what it's like to stay at the table, to do that work.
Young people are looking at what's going on around the world and saying, hang on a second, perhaps we need to defend our democratic values, because that's not the kind of world we want to live in.
It is incredible to watch sixth graders be engaged in their community. They get so excited and they realize that not only that they have a voice, but that their voice matters and then it can actually change things.
I was born deaf and with a cleft lip and palate, so half my life I spent not being able to speak or hear. And so the ability to actually have a meaningful conversation to me has always been super important.
It's a great lesson for all of us to know that when we really hear each other deeply, it can lead us to changing our mind and actually doing something really positive in our community.
I think that if we really understood ourselves and other people better, then we would have more productive disagreement.
When people thoughtfully deliberate about the Constitution, rather than about partisan politics, we may find that there's more that unites us than we expect.